What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. Shout out to King. First of all, shout out to BGS for great video he just uploaded. I'm glad to see him doing YouTube videos again, as well as shout out to King Sigma for his excellent reporting on DJ Kid, as well as BMT as well. King Sigma had a his video is at 180,000 right now, and BMT had some good stuff as he's down there in that area, as well as Jada Black. You'd be surprised where certain YouTubers are. I mean, we are everywhere. So when these things happen close to home, we actually have a greater ability to do reporting. Everybody's doing videos on that, and I've been on some of these panels. What's up, Super Triz? In fact, actually, Super Triz, I definitely want to talk to you about doing a video maybe in a week or two or a couple weeks about culture and what does it mean to have culture. Um, because oftentimes you talk about that, like how, just FYI while you're here, like how I was thinking, and I was kind of thinking about how like Hispanics, whether they're black, white, more Indian or otherwise, more Euro versus more Indian versus more native versus more black, they all unite around the idea of what it is to be Hispanic. When you look at how much a Marilyn Negra tries to prove she's Hispanic, versus like a what's the chick what's the chick name, some of these these typical fucking white Euro Latin chicks versus traditional Latin chicks, how they all unite around Latin, and even though they don't like each other all the time, they still have this identity they unite around, and then that crosses a lot of different like demographics and like groups. And what does that mean versus like how black people do it? That's definitely something I know you've always talked about that. So that's something I definitely want to talk to you about. I was thinking about that. So anyway, um, this video right now is going to be kind of a reaction, more so than a response. I just listened to BGS's video talking about Guy, um, and it's definitely a great video. Basically breaks down Dr. Tommy Curry's book or paper, as you know how he does it. And I mean, he really encapsulates. Yeah, it's basically only white men are real men in the Ghanocracy. Definitely check it out. You can go to my community tab to see it. And one of the biggest things he pulls from is the idea of when you hear black women talk about real men or real men do this, real men do that. He said something based on what the book says I never considered. And he says when they say real, they really mean white. They subconsciously mean white because black men are always compared to white men in comparison to what we lack. We're substandard to white men, therefore they don't respect us. And really, when it comes down to the gynocracy talk, I talk about it because it needs to be talked about. It's definitely something I'm not going to walk away from. I'll definitely learn to get better at repackaging this information in a way that's more easily absorbable. Because here's the thing: black men have no friends, and black men really need to understand that. You may have temporary allies based on having common goals, but when it comes down to it, most groups operate like a Highlander, and this is just how American society really is. This capitalistic, ultra competitive society. There can only be one. Somebody has to suffer for somebody has to thrive. I don't give a fuck what political party you belong to. I don't give a fuck what ideology you belong to. I don't give a fuck what religion you belong to. This is the law. This is the absolute law of the United States of America, and quite frankly, in my opinion, the world to a certain extent. But it's definitely true in America. And even white people believe this amongst each other. And you can see it in shout out to it's a movie coming out with Christian Bale, about Ford versus the Italians, as far as Ferrari, and they think they do this even amongst each other. You see this in many different modalities. The art of competition. If you listen to like Richard Spencer, and I don't listen to him, but I'll not BGS, Jason Black's interviews, Race War and stuff like that really encapsulated this. This is what these people think, and regardless of when it comes back to black people is the biggest threat. And this is not just about America. Um, this is really about um the black community, and how even when you see people that are not ADOS, whether or not ADOS, they're in the alphabet community, everybody always belongs to this group other than black, right? And people always want to point fingers at people that like hop the fence or shit like that, but people do it in a lot of different ways that doesn't get pointed out. That's just the most obvious. But when you listen to what I just said about the identity, people are running to certain identities. I mean, take Little Nas X for example. I mean, he ran to that identity, and some people are saying he might not even be gay, which I think he's probably bisexual. In my opinion, there ain't no way a dude is gonna pretend to not be gay to be gay. Like, I just don't see that. So he's probably bisexual. My point is, they run to these identities that, and you see men do it, you see women do it, everybody's doing it to not deal with what they need to deal with. And here's the truth. The truth is everybody, whether they're black, white, or it's even other black men, it's beyond the women, even are very much threatened by black men if they ever united in a block. And when I say a block, I'm not talking about, individuals are now absorbed by the group or they're forced to do what the group is. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is if we have certain common understandings about this country and how this country treats us. Take me and take somebody. I need to do an interview with him because I mentioned him enough. But take me like somebody like Xanatos Clutch. If I talk to him from a construct of race, that's not a message he's necessarily going to want to hear based on his experience. But if I talk to him from a perspective when he talks about the community, which he's really talking about the gynocracy. Xanatos Clutch is real when he talks about the community and stuff like that, or when Preem goes off. To an extent, they're really talking about the gynocracy. They don't even know it because that's what ultimately powers. That's what powers what their experience was. And I ain't talking about really Preem and Xanatos Clutch. And it was. That's what it rotated around. The men really orbited around the women. And then all of that is ultimately foundationalized by white supremacy, by the media that black people don't control, by the money that filters down through them, by the opportunities that they're given in order to keep down. I mean, BJ's video really breaks it down to a T, and his work really breaks it down. And if black men really had their own agenda, independent of the women, because here's the thing, men for the most part have the agenda and the women for the most part go along with it. They may have their own little things that they pick up along the way that they want to get done to actually keep the social contract in order, but ultimately men have the agenda. Like the reason why you see a lot of people will ask, why do you see white, okay, if what I'm saying is so fucking true, why do you see white feminism today as big as it is? Me Too and shit, that's white folks, white women. It's because you have the 1% mainly. It's mainly the 1% that are basically trying to terraform. They're trying to basically they're aristocrats, and they're trying to make other men serfs. They need to control men to have bodies for defense, and obviously to be a buffer with everybody else. But they really don't give a fuck about men because they believe in the law. A lot of these dudes believe in the law of Darwinism. The strongest survive. So they're kind of thinking if you're white and you can't make it in America, then really you're a substandard white person. And sure, they'll have a little bit more understanding for people that are in their tribe, like Anglo-Saxons, because they're considered like the top Europeans, Anglo-Saxons and Germans. But ultimately, that's what they think. Like deep down, that's how they operate. And this is cross-political. This is cross-political. You look at somebody like Steve Forbes, or you look at somebody like the Koch brothers, where they're really libertarian, which is they're really liberal, with the exception of ultra business first above anything else. But other than that, they're actually more liberal. You see that across the board. It's that old money, new money, and then below that, you have everybody else. And they use the women to basically terraform, to basically create that buffer. They can't do it as easily as you can with black people because of the tendencies that white people have and the numbers they got to deal with, but it is effective to a point. They broke the social contract between really white folks. And a lot of white folk, and what they do to maintain that is something they've always done. They basically make black men, and if it's not black men, if it's going to be light skinned people, it's going to be the terrorist and the Arab, the immigrant and the Hispanic, pick. They're going to use that in order to keep away the eyeballs off of what the real target is, which is really the 1%, from a white person class warfare perspective. This is what Tim Wise tries to talk about. This is really what Alex Jones tries to talk about. Both of these people do not really give a fuck about black people, but they will look at something as it is, and they really a lot of their work. Although I kind of got more respect for Tim Wise and Alex Jones, but Alex Jones will say some real shit from time to time. That's their work, to really wake white people up of that you're real. And The point is, you have to understand the black men don't have their own agenda. We're the only group of men that don't. And we don't because we don't really want to we don't really want to do what's necessary to really take control of what it's necessary to do. This is why when we talk about what needs to happen and we talk about solutions, it's kind of like somebody you having a conversation about, let's say you're on a sports team. Let's say you're on whatever sports team, and you talk about winning. You talk about making a playoffs. You talk about, to say your Cleveland team or something like that, and you talk about winning, but ultimately you don't want to practice. You don't want to do the drills. You don't want to do the stuff that actually would make you a better player, to make you a better unit, to actually put yourself in position to maybe you can get a good player, maybe you're playoff ready, and then you can get a good player that can take you over the top. You expect somebody like a LeBron or a once in a generation character to just come and save you, because ultimately you don't want to take control of your agenda and actually get past any obstacle. Like, for instance, give you a perfect example. Take the New York Knicks, for example. The obstacle is they don't need to win to make money. So making money. So you have a group that may want to tank in order to get a better draft pick slot. So you're operating in an upward motion, like, against the river, against the flow of the water, against a tide, a powerful tide that's really trying to keep you in the same spot. And then you can't not be serious. You either have to commit to kind of move up against that tide or against that flow of the river, or you're going to get swept away. And what happens is a lot of black men don't want to commit, because deep down, they don't want to open those doors, because they know those doors are going to lead to certain eventualities that they just don't want to deal with. I had somebody that left a comment, and I left it up there, and it was funny. It really spoke to me because BGS, and y'all could put some in the comment section, the chat. I'll read them in a second. But BGS was talking about how you're attacked. And I kind of look at some of the people that tried to attack me. They'll try to call me names. I even had somebody in the fucking comment section. This dude said, "Yeah, man, about you dudes." And I'm gonna start clowning these niggas hard, like, for real. I'm gonna start coming up with music. I'm gonna start stepping my game up when it comes to that shit, to really make these niggas like on some radio shit. When just like, "Oh, you have a homoerotic voice. That's what I notice about niggas like you and dudes like you to always talk about blah 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 blah." And I was like, the first thing I thought too is, I said, "Nigga, how many dudes are you listening to for you to actually come to that fucking conclusion? Like, how many of these dudes that you listening to that you want to say has a homoerotic voice?" And I'm like, nigga, that sounds gay, even you using that fucking terminology. I forget what video it's under. It's on my Facebook. If any of y'all on my Facebook. And I thought for a hot second, because I didn't really give a fuck, because I could delete some dumbass shit like that. But he really thought he was saying some shit. And a lot of these dudes, just like females, they can only hear, like, a lot of these dudes can hear you talk about dudes all day, every day. But you start talking about these women, it's something in dudes that triggers them. And it doesn't matter if it's true. It's not about if it's true. It's really about, I just can't handle it. But I'm like, why are you here? Like, so it's a difference between you listen, you have this obligation and you gotta defend some shit that you know is true. And when I'm broaching it from a gynocratic standpoint, BGS broke it down. You know, like the article, and when I say broke it down, I'm talking about the article he read broke it down by Dr. Curry. Because what he was, because here's the thing about the article. When you look at the video, the article is really breaking down it's breaking down a black woman that writes policy for black boys, and how she doesn't see black boys as human. And I hate to use that terminology because it sounds harsh, but she doesn't. A lot of black women do not see black men as human. They objectify shit. This is why when they talk about this is the type of shit that when you listen to Rashida Schrober and you listen to how she talks and how she yeah, what's up, Alon? She loses her shit. It's amazing how she's so invested in her pain. And that's another thing too, y'all need to understand. Black women are so invested in a lot of their victim status because it really allows them to deflect from dealing with the realities of what's really around them. You see, a lot of times people will claim to be a victim in order to not acknowledge them being a victimizer. It's so much emotionally easier to be a victim than to be a victimizer. So if you claim that you're a victim and you really believe that in your own mind, and especially if the society validates that, then you're never going to really have to own anything you do, because at the end of the day, you're a victim. Everything you do is a reaction. And doesn't that sound like a lot of every time something goes down, it's always got to be a black man's fault? Because this is a religion. It's like a cult. It's a religion mentality. And it doesn't matter what class the women are in. This is why, the colorism shit gets on my fucking nerves. Because quite frankly, it is a universal, I'm a victim, so therefore any reaction I have is justified. It's justified. And whether the women do it or not, they all circle around that code. They all do. And you see it in these conversations. A lot of dudes keep asking, why do you take these women seriously? Why do you talk to these women? Because basically what you're doing is you're experimenting. You're probing them in conversation, how they respond. And when black women will always say, I'm not like that, that's not me. You say that, yet all y'all are saying the same shit. When asked the same questions, you respond in the same way, with very little delineation. It's very rare you get somebody like Kendra that's gonna say some real shit. And you gotta realize she was in the nation. So I mean, it's very rare. It doesn't matter what class you're in. And BGS was comparing like what Carib was saying on the Hangout, the video he did with her, with a lot of what he was talking about, because it is the same thing. And she's not a dumb woman. She doesn't want to see it. And they often don't. And it is what it is. I mean, but at the end of the day, you all have to understand that black women, this is what people do not understand. They don't get that black women are used as a leverage tool to basically infect the community. Just like this DJ Kid shit, how you infect a whole bunch of sisters, and then but through them, they're going to fuck with black men because they don't have enough access to white men to be going for white men like that. That's that mindset. And it's the same thing with other shit. It's the same thing with media and other shit. You infect the women because the women have the boys. And people don't understand it. It's very obvious. You do not need a PhD to really see this shit. You really just gotta kind of look at it from a broad perspective. But people can't really do that because they want to look at their own individual relationships and then try to act like everybody knows something's wrong with the community. But it's like motherfuckers say the same stupid shit and don't want to really get to the heart of what it is. They don't want to do it. Because like I said, they want it to improve, but they ultimately do not want it to change. But it cannot improve if it does not change. And that's what a lot of dudes are going to have to square with. That's what you're really seeing with this split. And at the end of the day, when I say black men unite as a block, I'm not really talking about all black men. If you can get 20% of black men on the same page, really, that would be a game changer. Because at that point, shit will just be made too wide open to really ignore. And when I say black men, they don't got to be all, square dudes, all street dudes. I'm talking about dudes on the same page understanding this shit. And with a lot of dudes, I remember, well, shout out to Mufasa, dudes cannot, it's like, people are going to get it or they're not. This is not really something that can be explained to them because they're so emotionally dug in. You got a lot of dudes that they fundamentally, oh, well, if we deal with the white man, your woman will automatically change. And they believe that because they actually buy into the lie that your women operate the way they operate because of something you are not doing. That's not why they operate the way they operate. They operate the way they operate because they buy into a system. And if you buy into a system and you attack a system, then often they're going to be part of the people that defend the system. I often tell you all, black women buy into white supremacy. They just don't like their place in it. That bullshit about some but not all, I don't want to hear that shit because people know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's like me saying, well, black men like fucking black fat bitches. Okay, we all know that every black man don't do that, but we know it's more than 50 plus one. So anyway, yeah, Jonathan Morgan, put in the chat what you thought about his video. But no, I mean it breaks it down. I mean I like videos like that because the thing about it is this is not about hating nobody. This is about understanding this is where you are. This is where you are as an individual and this is where you are as a group. And once you understand that, you know how to navigate. You have a better understanding as to what you want and then how to navigate it. And we just got too many people that are in. We got too many black men that are in. The women are gonna be in denial. Quite frankly, they're gonna be in denial as long as the environment allows them to be in denial. Once the environment makes it so the pain of their bullshit, the consequence of their bullshit, the Darwinism, the pain of them being in denial is greater than the comfort it gives. They'll change because they're not operating on logic. That's easy. But dudes, too many dudes are in fucking denial. They really are. They really are. You're absolutely right, man. And black men, a lot of black men are in denial because of that guilt bullshit. And that black man guilt is real, man. It really is. I'm telling you. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. That shit is fucking real. And women have no problem. And women push on that thread all the fucking time. All the time. At the end of the day, the shit that we say about them, they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do because the society validates their fuckery. That's what they don't understand. Their society validates their fuckery because they are the system that actually keeps the engines going as far as how the black community is where it is. They don't understand that. They're not gonna understand that because it's too emotionally painful for them really to explore. And this is not even about the populace. Even a lot of these damn because even the way the video starts with I have to protect the sanctity of the mother, even though I know these black boys are suffering because at the end of the day, the mother is human, black men are not. It didn't say that square like that, but it said that in that verbiage. And a lot of black women don't see you as human. Here's the thing, dudes will be like, well, I'm fucking bitches. Well, you're a dick. You're a dick with a person around it. That's really all that is. Without that, they wouldn't give a fuck about you, and you know it. When a woman will fuck you, you got to think about it like this. When a woman will fuck you and you haven't accomplished anything or done anything, can you honestly say that? Now, this will sound like I'm hating, but I'm just being serious. Can you honestly say that that woman is actually down for you? Like, let's keep that all the way 100. Like, that's no different than a woman dealing with a dude for money. It's a sexual response versus a security response. It's the same shit. If you don't believe me, this is why these motherfuckers often wind up in the child support courts getting fucked over. They get fucked over too. This is why, Future or whoever can fuck these hoes and these hoes still gonna get their money. Cause they know they ain't got access to you like that. So they're gonna get something. They feel like they're owed. They don't feel like, they got a debt settled. They feel like they're owed. And it's not just black women, white women like that too. But the point is, a lot of dudes are in denial as to, and when I'm talking about dudes, I'm talking about pro-black dudes. They're really in denial. They think it's like they will not accept that your women are actually a part of the cocktail of people that are against you. And here's the thing: this is not about attacking women. This is not about leaving women. What this is about is understanding If you are not going to you are not going to have a community if you don't understand what everything that needs to be fixed and what needs to be fixed first. If the women are operating on their own bullshit, then their agenda is always counter to what your agenda is. So if you're pro-black, that's not really their agenda. Their agenda is really pro-black woman. That's the problem with a lot of this shit. Black women have been operating since the 1960s, really before that, on a pro-black female agenda. I really should do a hangout about that. And then black men have been just following along, thinking that shit is a pro-black agenda. Well, it's not. It's really not. And here's the thing: raising black women does not raise the black community. Raising black men does help raise black women. This is why everybody keeps talking about the father ain't in the home, and that's an issue as to why all this bullshit happens. Yet motherfuckers act like women are just forced to not be able to pick a good day. Like the system, like the Joker said, nobody gets upset when everything's going according to plan. But when people start bucking against that plan, then crazy shit starts happening. This also comes back to black men not supporting other black men. Like they're like real talk. If you dealing with a guy that is a black male scholar, like when I say scholar, I mean he's talking about this shit. That dude should not really want for money. If Jason fucking Black, let me be clear here, and I got respect for Jason Black, but dude, Jason Black it's demonstrated he can raise $250,000. Tariq Nasheed has demonstrated he can do that. You are not gonna fucking tell me that some of these other black scholars shouldn't be able to do that. Seriously. So we know the money's there. I mean, O'Shea has been we know the money's there. Like it costs about $72,000 to create a documentary. You know, we have to be that's a part of being a block. We have to be our own market. Whether you a square dude or a street dude, this is an experience that we all have or we see that other people have. It's not something that really needs to be argued. And that's and to be fair to O'Shea, that's kind of the shit that O'Shea is really talking about when he talks about like black people need to come together, because I've often been kind of critical of that a little bit. You don't have to necessarily break bread with motherfuckers necessarily. You just got to understand that we got more in common than these other motherfuckers. And at the end of the day, when shit reaches, like, it's kind of like two circles, and then when they cross, in that middle that they crosses, there needs to be money put in to where we can move an agenda. And when it comes to talking about unapologetically like black male shit, that needs to be something that all black men can support. And there are things that everybody pretty much agrees with. Take the bullshit, because here's the thing: if you take like men fucking women out of these, and you talk about these black boys and what these black boys go through, ain't nobody arguing with that. Not really. If people want to talk about what about the black girls, what about them? Black girls already have a lot of money put to them. What about these dudes? Like, here's the thing. You, like motherfuckers that have daughters. I already told you, do not trust dudes that have daughters and no sons. Don't trust them. And even dudes that got daughters and talk too much on that what about the girl shit. You got black men coming out of fucking high school with 4th grade reading. And then there's an article, I haven't posted it, but there's an article that's talking about automation is going to hit black men hard as a motherfucker too. Because a lot of the industries where automation can kick is where a lot of black men are. And you know, black men are always the last to be hired, first to be fired. And they don't give a fuck about us being homeless. So you got dudes that are 4th grade, who got 4th grade education. Look, man, that's pretty much reading comprehension. That's automatic, pretty much damn near prison or pipeline. We already know that there's a plan for you. So when niggas come out here talk about what about the daughters, they got black girls right, they got all that shit, they gonna be all right. The fuck is with these boys? And the fact that you got dudes that even say that, and then the fact that they can't even put it the fuck together, is these are the boys that are actually coming up with your fucking daughters. So when these hoes are talking about where I ain't no man around and all that bullshit, this is the type of shit that doesn't happen. You know, I was sitting there listening to the DJ Kid shit, and I forget what her name is, but she was talking about that shit. First, talk about all, it's just, man, it never dawns on people that a big reason why shit happens the way it happens is because they're in a gynocracy. A lot of the pain that black women talk about is really the result of them choosing to engage directly, indirectly in gynocratic behavior. And they don't understand that. And this is why I don't really take a lot of what they say seriously when they're crying and whining. Because at the end of the day, they pretty much low key choose that shit. Let me see. All right, now y'all coming through. Jonathan Morgan says making you feel guilty is just the overhead of the system. Yeah, absolutely. Latrell Scott, my grandma just took a shit on the floor, but I like what you're saying. I don't know what Latrell is talking about. What's up, NC Worker? What's up? Obviously, R Green. I really read what he said. Like, yeah, I mean, Jonathan. Yeah, John. Yeah, I don't know what Latrell's talking about, but he says the exchanging of feelings. Like, okay, Latrell, to the extent that what you're talking about, it may be that exchanging of feelings shit. Okay, that may be what you're saying, but you know good and goddamn well that's not what women thinking of doing. Even if women think they getting good dick, they still think they own your ass, and they still so. Come on, man. You know what the fuck we talking about. I hate when people they put something out there just to throw something out there. But when you're talking, but you know good and well, women do not see that as an even exchange. They don't, and you know no, and that's no woman. Um, Latrell said, "Nigga, I'm talking about just sex. A lot of chicks just need that, need more rubbers." So Latrell, is that really reflective of a lot of the complaints that you hear? Like, because this shit was been around before YouTube. Like, are you really honestly telling me that the only thing women are complaining about is sex? They're not comparing you to the white man because they're comparing because of sex. And by the way, black women are fucking arguably more than any damn near more than any other women in the country. Let fucking let fucking statistics say it. And how do I know that? Because when people talk about how white women are having less children, and white women are not having as many abortions as black women by number, even though black women are like 10% of the population of women, white women, yeah, they're fucking more. And it's fine, but the point is, sex ain't the issue. So what are you talking about? And yeah, and I mean, Latrell talk about, he's new here, so I'm not even gonna argue what the fuck he's saying. Latrell, you need to go look at that video and go Google, go YouTube BGS, type in, and go and study up basically. See, this is one of these dudes that'll come in here, hear what the fuck I'm saying, and then basically puff out the chest and start talking about, nigga, you got a homoerotic voice. You're only mad because you're not getting pussy. This is what happens when motherfuckers hear me. It's kind of like you take somebody that it's like times tables, and then they fucking go in trigonometry, and they don't want to look stupid, so they get mad. I've seen that before. That's another thing, Jonathan. Black men who get it need to come together. They really do. And a lot more black men get it than don't. The problem is a lot of dudes are scared. I'm not even gonna act like they not. Because at the end of the day, now you're like breaking down the walls of what they really believe. So the first thing that's gonna be in their programming is gonna be, well, nigga, you must not be getting sex because that's why you doing that. Why do you think I'm referencing BGS? BGS got a couple of different baby mamas, and I believe 3 kids and grandkids. So we can't say that's what it is. The point is, yeah, with Tommy, the point is that there is a market. Like black men have to be their own market. That's what we have to understand. We have to do that. Every other group does that, and their power is based on that. And a lot of people don't want to really admit that. Black men want to operate. Like I'm not even talking about individually. It's kind of like you gotta look at it like insurance. Like when you have insurance, whether like do you feel like they're controlling what you do? You know, like car insurance. No, you pay a deductible, you get a benefit. That's what it is, and you buy the insurance according to what you want. Whether it's whether you see what I'm saying. That's how you gotta look at it. Too many dudes they talk when you unite. Oh, I don't want you telling me what to do. Look, man, I don't agree. Certain people I fuck with. I'm ADO. Certain people want to act like they don't like ADOs. That don't mean I don't fuck with them at all. If they got some logical points, they got some logical points. If they don't, then I'm like fuck it. But that don't mean on other stuff I'm gonna say fuck them on everything. Well, I mean, Jonathan Morgan, it don't got to be that formal. I mean, it really doesn't. It really doesn't have to be that formal. As far as you need a code of conduct, an official political group, it don't got to be that formal. I love how people come in these things and they actually think they doing something. Well, Tickle Cook, I mean, the reason why I'm focused on that is because that is the problem. I realized years ago that the issue is culture under all the areas of activity, and then culture affects that. And then what is the issue with culture? And is this? This is the issue. You don't deal with this issue, nothing else is gonna really work in the way it needs to work. So whichever carve cut out of the black community you deal with, you're gonna have to deal with this. It's something you have to understand. You're gonna have to build a code around this. Like when you look at the Nation of Islam is not perfect because Scientology is infiltrating that. But when you look at other groups, how they operate because they're on the same page when it comes to this. You don't gotta be as stringent as what they are. But I'm saying it's the same thing. Any group, any discipline that studies groups, there are certain commonalities, whether it's police force, whether it's church, whatever. So I mean Latrell, what up, BGS? Because BGS, I talk a lot of shit, but Latrell, I mean, it's very obvious. Like I got niggas talking about, nigga, you got a homoerotic voice. That's what I notice about you niggas. Y'all ain't got no bass in y'all fucking voice. And I always laugh because I'm like, motherfucker, I took over 40,000 calls in a call center, like making inbound and outbound calls, talking to white people. My voice is trained to get the money out of those motherfuckers. And I was good at it. And I still am. That shit got me my passport and allowed me to travel. But they don't know that. So they sit there and they hear this information and it's like they can't really understand it. And I'm not even trying to act like I'm smart. I'm not trying to act like I'm smarter. I know this sounds arrogant as fuck and patronizing, but like for instance, he said, but what is this? Okay, if you don't know, I just pointed you to where you can go to basically learn. He's talking about what the fuck is the issue. The issue is you're in a gynocracy. The issue is when most people talk about white supremacy, but they don't understand that really what you can't even get to white supremacy because you can't even get past your own fucking community getting on code. Why can't they get on code? When I say on code, what do I mean? I mean, you in Atlanta, supposedly. Okay, Atlanta has black businesses, supposedly. Even though ATL is way overrated, I'm gonna just keep that all. There needs to be another black Mecca because ATL does not deserve that mantle. I'm just gonna say it's too much bullshit going on in Atlanta. But that being said, they do have black businesses. They have black people that fuck with each other to a certain extent. The white ISIS culture, all these things operate because you are trained to do that. Who are your first teachers? Well, your women. So basically, white supremacy, gynocracy powered by white supremacy is basically the culture you deal with. Now you talking about, but what is this? I see a lot of wealthy men in ATL. It needs to spread to the north. Problem is people being complacent. Okay, that's not what the topic is. Number one, there's a lot of wealthy black men everywhere. In fact, more black men that make 50,000 or more are in the north than in the south. Real fucking talk. Obviously, cost of living is less, but you're talking. See, this is what I'm talking. What did I just fucking say? People will look at what's in front of them and then try to use that to kind of psycho understand what I'm talking about. And I'm looking from a macro point of view. I know black women that make fucking $100,000 a month. So I know what you're talking about, but that's not what the fuck I'm talking about. So you act like ATL is everywhere. No, it's not. Oh, well, the North just need to be like us. I'm like, nigga, come on, man. Nah, nah, Wayne Brady ain't trolling. He said that. Yeah, and shout out to BGS, man. I'm not even gonna repeat like what the post you put it up, but it's good that you're I want to know what BGS thinks about that damn J Kid shit. No, here's the thing, man. You don't need a like the manosphere is a perfect example, even though it's more looser, of what you need to do. Like the stuff doesn't have to be that formal. Like I understand like a brotherhood and stuff like that, but when you get to start doing stuff like that, you got to understand that stuff is going to happen in smaller numbers, because the smaller the number, the more you can actually have people kind of on the same page. If you're talking about like tens of thousands or 100,000 people, you have to kind of, like I said before, when you look at Hispanic as a political identity, of course they're not all the same, but they do come across this thing that's Latino. You see Afro Latinos doing it, you see regular Latinos doing it, and they come to the middle to this thing that they agree on, that they're operating on autopilot with. This is what we gotta this is kind of what we gotta start doing. But you're not gonna do that if you got dudes competing with other dudes, because they're competing with other dudes for favor for these bitches. That's really what you're doing. And so dudes are competing with each other rather than competing with other groups, versus every group is somehow trying to keep us fucked up. Well, yeah, CR Crank. The culture part is simple with media, but the first of all, the manosphere is a form of media, and then we got to start promoting our own media. This is what talk when you talked about like Dr. Curry, the person he was BGS was talking about, and that other dude that had to leave, Dr. Son Johnson. I'm not saying we need to get him money for them to be famous. I'm saying we need to basically let them know we got them, because the work they're doing is very important. Also, spreading their work out amongst other black men so other black men can have the exposure. Man, you got niggas that can't even like videos, even though that'll help with the algorithm. You got dudes that ain't really spreading these sharing. If you ain't liking it, I know you ain't sharing it. When you look at King Sigma, I'm gonna tell you this. King Sigma, there's on my community page. King Sigma's video, and I'm glad BGS is here, because I was looking at BGS's like top 5 videos, and like 2 of them are like swirling shit. So we already know how the algorithm interprets that. King Sigma did a video on DJ Kid before anybody else. That video is at like 180,000 right now. 180,000. It really, when you look at the manosphere, there should be a lot more videos like that, because there we should be spreading stuff that we like. And it's not necessarily for us. When that Rebecca Lynn Pope said what she said, that shit spread like wildfire. Because if as a group, if we push certain videos out there, the algorithm's gonna pick up on that. But you got dudes that they're like they want to be here to be fucking entertained, and that's fine. But you can still like the video, share the video, and be entertained. Hell, if you donate $1, like if if most black men say, you know what, I'm gonna set aside $120 a year, so just $10 a month, and I'm gonna give it to, like, you know, a pool of content creators that I like, that are saying some real shit. And it could be for entertaining. You like the quality of videos I put out, the entertaining. It could be like that. If enough black men did that, what would that do? Like, what would that do? That would establish you as a market. I mean, some of these YouTube channels will advertise for less than $100. Like, real talk. Some of them are bigger. Yeah, it is a fraternity, Richard, with Latrell. Well, I mean, but here's the thing, Latrell, we're being serious here. So I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm not really trying to come at you like that. But I mean, I'm being serious. There's times when I'm fucking around. There's times I'm being serious. But see, to agree on conflict resolution, you got to have somebody everybody buys into. This is why oftentimes I'll say, if somebody really wants to come at me hard, I'll say, look, man, I'll fucking go. We can go to BGS's and he'll be a neutral party, because BGS ain't gonna necessarily just let me fly off the fucking handle for no reason. And a lot of these dudes don't be wanting to fucking do that. Cause that's the dude I trust to be neutral. Cause there's other people that I did that I'm not saying no names. I'm not trying to play nobody, but they're too invested in the fuckery. So they're gonna let niggas go off the handle because they're gonna drive views. I know BGS is more about the logic of the argument, and that's what the fuck I'm talking about. But they don't want to do that shit because they know that's not an arena that they can just flip the fucking table on. So, and by the way, that's what it used to be back when a lot of dudes were doing conflict resolution. Trick Lesson said, I got the sorry to bother you voice. Yeah, dude. I made a lot of money with telemarketing, outbound calls, man. Um and it's funny because that's really where it comes from. That's really, so when dudes say that stupid shit, I'm like, nigga, cause even black women don't say that dumb shit to me. So I'm like, nigga, so you basically like look like it. Well, I say it, I don't give a fuck. I just say it because I feel like it. So it is what it is. I just want somebody to know there's something behind that. There's not some, oh well, nigga, you just ain't getting no pussy, da da da. Cause you know how motherfuckers are. It really is some low IQ shit. I'm from Chicago, Latrell. And yeah, Latrell. Yeah. I rather let Houston. ATL was like, look, I ain't got no problem with ATL, but ATL's over fucking rated, nigga. I know plenty of wealthy black people. Like, I'm in internet marketing. I know plenty of wealthy black people in ATL. ATL's over fucking rated. I'm not talking. They're a small percentage of fucking ATL. Do not act like they all ATL. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, BGS said that's white daddy taking advantage of his concubines. I mean, for real. And you notice these colorism queens ain't saying shit about that. Yeah, I shouted you out, BMT, because that's what's needed. Because I rather and it was funny. A sister in that video dropped a link, but she was trying to say that 600 shit didn't happen. And anyway, don't get me started on that. All right, so Latrell is look, man. I got you. Yes, I do travel. I was born in California, so I've been to every region pretty much in the United States. I get what you're saying. I understand that. I'm not playing the South North game, and there's a lot of fucked up shit motherfuckers do in the North. So this is not me defending Northern fuckery. Um, so I get what you're saying. But my thing is, because I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where you're talking to me at. So I'm not bullshitting with this. But um I don't it's very clear you got this north south thing going, and that's not what the fuck I'm on. I'm on like what is the best way to affect your outcomes. So when you start talking about like, well, niggas from the north or this or niggas from the north or that, niggas from the north are operating a lot quicker than a lot of times niggas from the south are. That's just facts. The environment in the south, especially if you're where the economics is getting stronger, is benefited a lot of black men, and a lot of black men in the north need to take heed to that and stop being on that fast lane bullshit. But this like thing to where like, oh well, the South is coming up because black men are just smarter in the South. No, that's not true. Just like how in the North, when niggas act like they better than dudes in the South because the economics were there. No, that's not true. It's just like how motherfuckers in the West Coast, they're not stupid. It's just the environment. Yeah, I mean Jonathan. Yeah, man. I mean, and I get what he's saying, but I already know that's that North versus South bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you, I check dudes from the North all the fucking time because they think they smarter than dudes in the fucking South. And I'm like, some of you niggas don't even got licenses, but it ain't got nothing to do with complacency because the environment in the North does not allow you to be complacent. It just doesn't. Yeah, what's up, Marcus? Yeah, I'm trying to get to. Yeah, and I didn't even think about what BGS said about the Olympics. But see that's that shit that motherfuckers ain't gonna say. They gonna tell their narrative. And as black people, we gotta stop doing that. That's why a lot of people don't like me, because I don't sit there and just say the narrative. I'm gonna say everything because I want to know the full scope of what happened, not know what motherfuckers want to say. Man, I've heard BGS. I've heard so many black people say that black men, black women rather be the white man's color. I mean, the funny thing is Darwinism is going to deal with all that. So it is what it is, you know. But that's old school type thing, Brandon L. I remember Charles Tyler used to say that shit all the time. Black women gotta be white man's own. Da da da. I don't know why I don't. I mean, you know what's funny? When people say that arrogant card, I'm like, look, man, if I'm getting quality information from somebody and I know how to actually evaluate the information, I'm gonna give people respect based on the information they give. And that arrogant shit, that sounds like some black female shit. Wayne, just saying. One of my favorite shows is The Expanse, Latrell. No, and first of all, Latrell, I gotta correct you on that. No, women don't like what they like. They like what they like what they like based on social programming. So that's not true, and that's one of the biggest myths that black people have is motherfuckers like what they like. That's one reason I don't like this select and non-select argument, because we talk about select and non-select, then you bring white people in the equation, and then that shit just completely doesn't matter. Because like BGS said, white men are the only real men according to way a lot of sisters think, and that's because they're socialized that way. So, and that's one of the big reasons why I had an issue with that. So we do go, man, we're just pussy, da da da. They're not seeing the greater scope of shit. They're just seeing what's right in front of them. And the thing about it is, if you're actually going to attack the problem that we're talking about, you have to call yourself to think a bigger scope than that. Otherwise, you're going to come down. It's like saying, I need to solve a four. That's not going to work. Now, if you, in fact, I would argue you can't even follow orders from a fourth dimensional thing um, as a two-dimensional person, let alone actually be able to comprehend. And there's a video I'm gonna upload about that talks about dimension, so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's the problem. We got people that want to think, they want to think two-dimensionally, but they want to deal with a fourth dimensional problem. And then they end up doing the same shit over and over and over again, and then they don't realize that, well, why are we getting the same results? So we do the same shit. Like when we have this conversation about pro-black and white supremacy, and Hotep and whatever, it always comes back to the same shit. Why? Because people are defaulting back to their same narratives of what they view based on their own whatever their own experiences is. And really, that shit is your experience is kind of. I'm not gonna say it's irrelevant. It's a good starting point, but at some point you have to look past that because everybody's experience is not your experience. So you have to look at what the commonalities are. What are the law of averages? Because the law of averages is what's really going on, not the exceptions. That's one thing that Care got on my notes. You wanted to talk about exceptions and not the rule. Oh, BJ, you should have seen Mr. Fantastic with Rashida Schrober. That shit was funny as hell. But shout out to Mr. Fantastic because he got some real he got some shit from her. He got some good shit from her as far as like putting her on the record. Yeah, I mean RJ, I mean at the end of the day, man, if the question is who's more goofy, black men are more goofy when it comes to our women as far as a blind spot. But black men as a group are not goofy when they're dealing with other women. They are very much aware of what they're doing and what they're trying to get out of it for the most part. Yes, you got goofy dudes, obviously, and dudes that get stupid, but even those dudes get caught up and black people see that. A lot of it has to do with sexual access. And people keep on not wanting to admit that. It's not about this, I need to be validated as a man, more so that it's just sexual access that's there and dudes are gonna do what dudes do. So as far as RJ, what you're talking about with the disloyalty and all of that, I mean, it really comes down to people operating on their own agenda and then just living in a magical mindset. BG, like if you type in magic in BGS's channel, he's got a couple videos where he talks about that magical thinking. That's what a lot of that shit is. It's that magical thinking. Well, I mean, Jonathan, I mean, when it comes to Wayne, I mean that's some shit. If he wants to do that, he can do that. But that he does that at his own risk. Other groups of Jason Black says this, and Jason Black gets the arrogant card more than anybody, in my opinion. He really gets that fucking card. But I just look at him talking is like a football coach. Like I can tell, like you gotta understand, like I'm a very assertive dude, and I know I'm not stupid. But at the end of the day, and it's at the end of the day, the question is, are you coachable? And it's funny because a lot of people will think I'm not coachable until they see I'm doing what they say to do as far as what I need to do. And they say, okay, this is just how he processes it. I've had people tell me that a lot. They thought I wasn't coachable until they saw I was actually enacting what they said. And then they realized it's just your process about how you like absorb shit when it's like I'm always pushing back on shit. I've gotten that coaching from a lot of people, not just black, and because I actually look to get better in different things. And when I hear like BGS say some stuff, same thing with Glendon Cameron, same thing with Jason Black. That's if you play sports, you understand that whether it's somebody that's a head coach or somebody that's a trainer. And it's funny because black men, they play sports, but it's like when it comes to intellectual shit or shit you need to get done in life, it's like they want to challenge every fucking thing. And I'm like, would you talk to your coach like that? Would you talk to your fucking trainer like that? That you're paying to actually get you an outcome? But see, that goes back to motherfuckers wanting to be entertained. Niggas want to clout chase. Niggas want to act like they smart. Look, I know I'm smart, but I know I don't know everything. And I'm gonna compare what I'm being told based on what I already know, because I already know. Here's the thing: I already know what gap. I already have an idea. I won't say I know, but my subconscious knows what gaps need to be filled. There's things that I knew before I ever got to BGS. When it comes to stuff like the imprint and stuff like that, I first heard that from Alexis Tyler, Black Woman, 2008. So when Rom and BGS started talking about that in their own context, that completely just closed the gap and made it a lot more clear. Number one, it confirmed it existed. And number two, it made it a lot more clear because we were talking about from our perspective versus she was talking about from her perspective. So a lot of y'all, but see, a lot of dudes don't do that. They're coming across this information. It's to give you a perfect example. It's like if I were to talk to you all about hypnosis and talk to you all about trance. Now that shit happens all the time when it comes to music, television, and media. But if I talk to you about straight up hypnosis and what's possible with that, I've been to conferences about shit like that. You motherfuckers will tell me that shit's not real and that's not possible, even though I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've been in a room. I've dropped $1,000. Went to like the what's the fucking one of them big hotels, and I forget what it is. One of them big hotels in Vegas. I've seen it. I've seen shit with my own two eyes. I got books on a lot of that stuff. So when motherfucker ain't one of them talk about media and all that to a low level, I know all of that. I know how social programming, when these black women talk about colors, I know all of that shit. I know how powerful that can be. I know how that can manipulate people over time. More so than most of you niggas do. But I don't ever talk about that. But if I say that straight up to the average person about hypnosis, let's put somebody in trance or something like that, they will tell me that shit's not real and they'll dismiss it. And then I'm all sorts of weirdo and bullshit. Even though as a marketer and people are using that, and quite frankly, I don't use that on my channel, because that's why I laugh about when people talk about the voice thing, because this is me free flowing. I'm not actually putting together something that would even deal with influence and stuff like that. This is just me just on here talking shit. But, you know. Uh-oh. Cocaine Kells called BGS Master Teacher. When the women are calling BGS Master Teacher, them niggas gonna get mad. Don't let the women start calling BGS Master Teacher. Then you already know it's gonna be warfare at that point. I mean, look, man. Look, man. The black women I deal with, I don't. And here's the thing: they're not like these perfect. Man, please. All right. Wayne, you got one more time, and you go. I see you saying some talking shit. You go get Wayne's gonna get greenlit. In fact, time Wayne out. Time Wayne out. Just cause we're gonna have a sacrifice today. Don't keep timing them out, but just put them in there once. There's a lot of black people in Texas, but you know, the motherfuckers keep getting randomly shot. Fuck that. I'd rather stay where the fuck I'm at, where the police ain't nutty like that. Usually Charlotte, with if some shit going down racially, it's usually fucking Charlotte. If it's gonna be in North Carolina, like on the city standpoint. Yeah, Rael, they not running it, and I think that it's slid. I think it slid. I think Atlanta is slid, man. And people talking about what Tyler Perry's doing. You know, shout out to Tyler Perry. No, I don't like his movie. I'm gonna tell you something. When he I forget what that movie he did try. There was like a Alex Cross. I went to see that. I went to support what the fuck I want to see. I'm telling you, Tyler Perry's smart. Tyler Perry needs to do horror. God damn it. And he needs to go get Rashida Schrober to make the script. I'm sure she got a good script about colorism. Let me see. Conservatives. I mean, Texas, it's a lot of black people in Texas. I mean, I would have looked at Houston, but fuck, Houston's got that damn flooding, man. I'm not, no. Ha ha ha. Super Triz. It's hot and humid out here. It's that slave heat. But I'm not a southerner, Super Triz. I'm more of a Midwesterner, if anything. That's not true. Ricky, that's not true yet. That's getting there. but people have not. A majority of black people have not moved, and plus they getting gentrified out too. But you still got a lot of black people in the Midwest. There's still a lot of people there, and they're embedded there for a lot of different reasons. But you are starting to see the trend of people coming back more to the South. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you like comics, the Joker movie is good. I'm glad the Joker movie is making the money it's making. I've never heard. I'm starting to see incels saying more and more. I kind of I might go see the Joker movie again after really looking at BGS's video, because what he was talking about with the Batman Joker, I didn't think about it like that, and that's actually kind of what they said. That white chick beyond the trailer, she kind of said that's kind of where they were going too. Shout out to Zazie Beats too. Look, I'm gonna tell you, Zazie Beats got that good check because she was barely in that damn movie, and she probably got a maybe like a tenth of a point on what the movie would do, and that movie is doing good. I'm happy for DC, man. I'm really happy for them because see, Americans are really not into adult cartoons like on a movie scale, but Americans will. I think as the population get older, R-rated movies is something you can get away with more because you don't necessarily got to deal with the toys. And I'm gonna keep it real. I think you could still but see, you can't monetize it on the toy shit. Like you can't license shit out like that. Yeah, I'm glad Amazon. I mean, Amazon. There's a lot of show. Amazon. If Amazon wanted more black people, they should get fucking they should get the Boondocks. I mean, there's a Amazon got the money, man. They really do. Netflix is really lucky because there's a lot of Shout out to Apple TV. See. So what about that Gemini Man? That's what I want to see before I end this video. What do y'all think about Gemini Man? Did y'all see Gemini Man? Because I got my thoughts on it. I mean, Jonathan, honestly, I gotta be honest, man. Like, I've had my backs and forths with my mom because I'm not the favorite. Actually, yesterday was my brother's birthday, and we're all 5 years apart. So he's 28. I'm about to turn 33 because my birthday's on November 2nd. His October 15th. My youngest brother is a leap year baby, and he's 10 years younger than me. So his birthday technically comes first. Um, so as far as like the turn, and the more I'm gonna keep it real with you, my mom was a woman and she didn't get along with other women like that. So a lot of this shit, and she actually wanted boys. So I got lucky. Like, and don't and when I say she wanted boys, I mean like my mom got a couple of abortions, and she fucking wanted boys. So that was for real, for real. So a lot of this makes you like I it happened in a certain way, but it didn't happen in the shit that this was being said. I had my fair share of me being said I talked back when I didn't, but the shit that like did the BGS be talking about, that ain't no shit I dealt with, not like that. So I got lucky, but I've had the share of trying to have masculinity beat on me too, but it ain't to the degree. All right, y'all can leave Wayne alone. I mean, I ain't want to, permanently. I mean, Wayne is saying like every two comments he's saying is some real shit. Yeah, BGS. I'm kind of the same way, man. I'm not a Texas dude. That's why you know what? You gotta respect what like the thing about it is one another things is being in this kind of conversation has had me really appreciate where I'm at. Which I'm gonna keep it real with you. It was actually my mom's choice to come here. So yeah, like because I've thought about moving, but I'll probably anchor myself here. And if I ever get the ability to get a second property or something, that might be somewhere else. But that's another thing about dudes blocking together. Yeah, niggas. All right, y'all, leave Wayne alone. I was just playing for a second. Texas is the fucking South. You know, I consider it the South. But I get what you're saying. I mean, Texas, like Arizona and all of that, but Texas is really its own thing. Okay, so Latrell, I'm telling you straight up, go look at the show The Expanse. The show The Expanse is on Amazon right now. I'm not telling you to torrent it because you shouldn't do that. You know, you shouldn't use uTorrent because you're not supposed to do that. You know, you should not go to a pawn shop and get you a cheap $99 laptop because you know nowadays these things got like 250 gigabytes, and then that way you can use that. That way you ain't fucking up your real laptop. You shouldn't do that. You should get Amazon Prime, but you can get hint hint hint. But you can get Amazon Prime, get The Expanse, The Expanse, The Boys, Jack Ryan with Travinsky, dude from The Office. Shout out to Wendell Pierce because he's on that show. He's on that TV show as well. Um, you know, it's some good shows on Amazon Prime, and then get The Expanse. I'm telling you, it actually goes deep into what you're talking about inter like cultures intermixing and then creating other groups. That's why I'm saying that. I'm gonna keep it real with you, BGS. Like one of the things, like when it comes to you doing Patreons, there's certain TV shows I would definitely like to see you do commentary on. I know TV shows is a little bit too much for your time, but definitely movies. Like it's certain movies I like to see you do like commentary on and some shit like that. Maybe like seasons. Well, I mean, Super True sports and hip hop commentary is what people want to hear. I mean, I personally can't stand the music right now, but I like to talk about what these people are doing outside the studio and off the field. Like you got Antonio Brown saying some stupid shit. You know, you got what's going on with Lonzo Ball. You got Zion Williamson killing it. I would like to get more into sports commentary. I've always been into like a fantasy sports for NBA, like DraftKings, FanDuel. You know, I'm getting, you know, like I said, I gotta get my off my ass when it comes to that website and get it up. I've actually got a lot of stuff put together. Yeah, we do. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you, RJ. Like, even when it comes to like the financial shit, like you and Yusef, that's some real shit, and there is value in that. The thing about content like that is content like that, and even like the gynocentric content. Like the academic version of that. That needs to be wrapped around like other stuff. That's not content that I say, okay, that needs to stand on its own. It needs to be, okay, here's the stuff you kind of want to be entertained by, but here's some other real shit that you need to kind of get exposed to as well. The Breakfast Club, I hate the Breakfast Club, but they kind of do a good job at that, like mixing in Farrakhan and Boyce Watkins with the fuckery. And to be honest with you, there is variety of content. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of different shit. You'd be surprised on some of these black men and black women that have like very strong followings. Like we need to start getting in other platforms too. Like quite frankly, it's we it's a lot of real shit that people say that like clips and stuff that you could put on Instagram and shit. There's a lot of things that we could do that we're not that you know. I'm really excited about 2020. Mhm. I knew Eric. Erica said Texas is number two for the black population in America. I'm not gonna lie. When Erica first said that, I was like, man. Erica's saying it, but I don't fucking know. But I looked at it, man, and yeah, yeah, it is. So y'all need to start dealing, and like I said, no, I was. We weren't really talking bad about. Actually, I was talking bad about Atlanta. I was basically saying Atlanta no longer needs to be like considered the mecca for black people. So we were talking about which other areas should, and Texas kind of came up. That's really what that was. I was saying I'm gonna stay my ass in North Carolina, and I'll visit. But yeah, man, Jim. So what movie did you see? Did you see Joker? See Gemini Man? I'm gonna tell you like straight up about Gemini Man. I like Will Smith. First of all, the money they put in the Gemini Man, what the fuck? They gave Ang Lee all that fucking money. That movie like Gemini Man was done. Fuck. You see this shit. Handy dandy box office mojo. Gemini Man was made for $138 million. And I know Will Smith had the guy that got a good check from that because that movie does not look like that. This movie has made 62 million worldwide. It is not gonna make money. When you they probably spent like 100 million promoting this movie too. It is yeah. Um I like the concept of them trying to do I like the concept of them trying to do like a '90s movie. They should have got a chick that played by yeah, it's the writing is horrible, man. I appreciate the technology behind what they were trying to do, but the writing is horrible. That's the main thing. If the writing was better, they should have had a brother make the writing. If the writing was better, it'd be better. But the writing was horrible. But the action was actually interesting. The action was interesting. The technology to make him look younger is clearly getting better. Yeah, yeah, peace, man. Did he hire a bunch of black folks? I don't know. I mean, I got respect for Tyler Perry's hustle. I mean, and I get it. I mean, at the end of the day, you can say what you want to about Tyler Perry. Black women are a loyal market. I mean, and black men are not. I mean, I'm sorry. Like we can get mad about that, but Tyler Perry did try to make Alex Cross. And me, I said that's stupid. Tyler Perry should have did horror. He should have did a horror movie. There's a lot of black men already in those industries, Morgan, geekdom, video games, and esports. I think there's more that can be done, but there's already a vibrant market in there. I was actually talking to somebody at work. You'd be surprised how many black women are starting to get into that, and they're not all swirlers either. There's a lot more black women into that than you would think. I mean, I'll take. Here's the thing. Personally, cultural. No, I take that back. I'm probably more culturally aligned with Texas than Florida. I mean, like I said, Joker is a swirler. Oh yeah, that is funny. But at the same time, but that was part of, they kind of did that to kind of play him too. Yep, that is true. Well, let's be clear here. People are leaving the Midwest is worse than the North because even though the Midwest cost of living is not as bad, it's just too much economic shit that's moved away from the Midwest. I don't know if I agree with that, BGS. Like, I agree with that, but I don't know about the wealth needing to be spread out because the thing about it is, I don't know, man. Yeah, yeah, white people are leaving Chicago. I mean, Chicago has lost like 3,000 mil. There's an article that came out like 2 years ago that was talking about Chicago lost a year and a half ago. The Chicago lost like 3,000 millionaires in like 8 months. Everybody's leaving Chicago. It's probably why Rahm Emanuel didn't want to be fucking mayor no more. Cause it's probably no fucking money. They should be, because here's the thing, man. Like in the coast of North Carolina, there used to be a lot of studios. They used to shoot a lot of TV shows, and stuff like that. Like I said, horror movies can be done inexpensively, and when you got stuff like Netflix and stuff like that, here's you got to think, when you're dealing with a studio, it's different because it's not just him doing his own movies. People are doing movies in his location. So when you're like in Atlanta and stuff like the TV shows and all of that, he's getting money for all of that. So it's interesting. Yeah, Gemini Man flopped. Yeah, it did. But then again, Shaft didn't do what it should have did. I think black men let Shaft down. I mean, I liked it for what it was. I saw it in Ultra HD, so I liked it for what they tried to do. But ultimately, and the camera work. But ultimately, when I'm having to talk about camera work and shit, like the story was a piece of shit. I mean, you should see it once. It's a good flick, but the writing was crap. Yeah, Eric, and I think black people. I think I'm of the mind that black people need to aggressively colonize the fucking South, and I said it like that, just like that. Like black people need to aggressively colonize the fucking South. When you look at shit like, and I'm talking about Mississippi, I'm talking about Alabama, I'm talking about all of it. Maybe not necessarily Florida, other than where we already are, like Jacksonville and shit. But I'm talking about all of it because This is what people gotta understand, and this is what fucking like Dinus would hate me saying this, but this is a fucking fact. Why the fuck would you look? I'm not gonna say why the fuck, but it is way more smarter for black people to try to bring industry into America for us, and then we use the laws that are established in the construction regulations and stuff to build up our own shit than to try to go overseas first and then try to do that shit. It's way faster to do it here. You got like, come on, let me type in. Hold on one second. Population of Mississippi. Let's do this. Population of Mississippi is 3 million people. Population of Alabama. Population of Alabama is 5 million people. What else? Population of South Carolina. Even though I don't know about it. 5 million people for South Carolina. Like, you know, population of Georgia. Yeah, 10 million people. We should be aggressively getting these areas, getting that land, and then this is what white people do. And man, you getting? I mean, you too late for Nashville, Erica. Nashville, they'd have built Nashville up. They gonna start working on Memphis next. Yeah, shout out to Clutch. Yo, I think I am gonna be the dude that's gonna be in the infomercial hours. I just now thought about it because y'all are up. I ain't got work tomorrow, but damn. He said Erica be going hard for Texas, man. Oh, BGS. That's some good. I didn't know that. BGS said he was born in Texas. He wouldn't go back. I'm sorry, BGS. I'm taking Texas over California any day. I mean, I like California. It's just too expensive. That's what that is. Buh, buh, buh. It's different Texas than 50 years ago. The white folks know it. New Yorkers be saying that shit. BGS, I remember why you on the block list. Yo, ain't it funny when motherfuckers talk about like why am I blocked? But anyway, oh yeah, I still need to unblock Keith. I still need to unblock Keith. Some of y'all blocked him in my chat. Y'all gotta start let him get in y'all feelings, man. Oh, okay, BGS. See, I don't watch Friends. I'm telling you, BGS, I'm telling you, the expanse, like it's like on 3 seasons, so at least do like I'm that's something I would cash app you for. Like to I know you can't do video by video, but if you were to do like maybe like 2 videos a season, like for like the expanse for and we like I'm telling you, that's something that I would definitely do a Patreon for. Because you like in certain movies, yeah, there's like we in fact we gotta put like a list. That'd be something to do with 2012. We put a list together of like stuff, and then we say, okay, we do like a bid. So like if you can get cashed app or get like pay, donated to certain things, it'd be like, all right, because I know you ain't got time to be doing that all the time. So which one's more important? I'm telling you, man, I would pay for that. It's because because here's the thing, you got dudes that like the Black Brain Trust, and they like talk about that futuristic science shit. That's what this is. The Expanse would do that. Um, yeah, it's a couple of shows. It's a lot of shows. I mean, Suits was one of my favorite shows. Oh yeah, that new Treadstone is coming out too. Damn man, I'm trying to see how far did this shit go? Okay, like I'm trying to think where's the bottom? All right, now I see where it is. Mm. Yeah, I mean, I live in Raleigh, so the Triangle is not Fayetteville. But I mean, motherfuckers keep like the problem with Fayetteville is I'm not paying. It, I might as well live where I live. If I'm gonna live in Fayetteville, Fayetteville is not giving me the no. And plus, I like living by airports, so yeah, there's that. Man, shit. Yeah, Ang Lee did make one good movie, and Ang Lee wasn't slick. Ang Lee pitched this shit to these people to get that check, and it shit. I'm gonna tell you something, BGS. That shit gets on my nerves when I see how many black directors be making money for these white motherfuckers, and then they act like they don't give us no fucking money. That's really bullshit because they be giving these random motherfuckers. Ang Lee is Taiwanese, but to be fair, Ang Lee probably getting some Chinese money too. He ain't getting all that from Hollywood. I'm telling you, he ain't getting all that from Hollywood. John Woo, yeah, but John Woo is more into his style than Ang Lee was really trying to push technology. Well, we'll see what episode 9 does, but it's probably gonna fall off. The tragedy of Star Wars is they don't know what the fuck to do with it. They thought they could just jam shit down their throats, people's throats, and they just take it, and people are not taking it. I remember when everybody cussed me out years ago when The Force Awakens came out because I tried to defend it. Erica said Joker was so dark, Judy was dark, sad. Dolomite with Eddie Murphy was like, damn. Joker, Joe. I don't think it was. It is dark, but it's not as dark as what people try to hype it up to be. People try to hype it up to be it would inspire violence, and it's funny how you got motherfuckers that are already shooting up shit, but they want to say this movie's going to inspire shit to get worse. Okay. Oh wow. I'm gonna see Erica living in Lake Norman by them folks, right? That's where Erica gonna get to Lake Norman. If y'all in Charlotte, y'all know about what I just said. Y'all know about Lake Norman. First time I went to Lake Norman, it was because of Amway to meet some of them folks, how they were living. No, John Woo is not the greatest action director of all time. I don't agree with that, but you are welcome to your opinion. I'm probably gonna unlock. Like, to be honest with you, Jonathan, you don't gotta pay me nothing. I'm probably gonna unlock those videos. I kind of did it to do an experiment to see like how much of my videos were actually being watched. Uh, so I'm looking at how my numbers are. But yes, I'm gonna unlock those videos. I'm not hustling y'all. I'm gonna tell you something. If I sell something to y'all, y'all gonna know it. Like, I got some stuff coming up the pike. I got some shit coming up the pike. You want to talk about automation? I got some shit for y'all ass. But this channel ain't really for that. I'll create another channel for that. Not really. Tyler Perry doesn't make movies for black men, but he doesn't disparage them. Esports is gonna be gigantic. It's kind of before my after my time. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't mind interracial couples, but I don't want to see nothing but interracial couples. I got a tolerance for that. And as much as I talk shit about hopping and dating out, like real, like when you actually look at what my track record is, I mean, I do date out, but my track record, it's like, if anything, 70-30, and that's if you include intercultural dating is 70-30. It is grim, and a lot of Indians and Asians are moving into Chicago. So, and Hispanics. So yeah, but it is what it is, man. And that's cool. And Clutch, because Clutch says cultural alignment is very important when deciding to set routes. My cultural alignment is more with interior, Mountain West, and Southwest, and Pacific, and Northwest to a degree. I can understand that. My thing about it is, I don't really care what you do. Just don't do shit on autopilot to where you don't know why the fuck you doing what the fuck you do. You don't. Nobody's got to explain shit to me, but you got motherfuckers. They do not know why the fuck they do what they do. Californians need to take their ass to Arizona and fucking Nevada. What's up, thinking man Templar? Yeah, I ain't gotta go to work, man. Shit. If I had to go to work, I'd be fucked up in the game. Shout out to Zion Williamson, man. He's proving the haters wrong, man. Yeah, and y'all should subscribe to Thinking Man's Templar as well, man. He be pushing that real shit. He really does. I need to step up my game. I already knew he knew what he was talking about. Well, with his first video, but when he was talking, well, actually, I don't know. I listened to some shit, some shit a long time ago. But motherfuckers be out here thinking I know everything, and I like in Manosphere, and I really don't. Yeah, it's on. I didn't. That was low for me too. 5 million. And Columbia is low key a very black city, the capital of South Carolina. Like I said, when it comes to actually development of land, I mean, MOT talks about that shit a lot. There is opportunities there, and if you're gonna go overseas, I mean, there is a case to be made with that. Yeah, shout out to MOT. Like, it is a lot of shit to be done when you look at an area about water. And by the way, BGS talks that shit too about developing. This is another reason why I always point y'all to Erica's channel. When it comes, like, there's a guy by the name of Peter Harris with Commercial Wealth Builders. If you want to be generally gamed up on this and kind of in the atmosphere of it, then, plus Eric, when it comes to like credit and what you need to kind of get a house, shout out to NACA. Um, that's why I point you over there. There's a reason I point people over there, because it's like this is the basic foundational stuff that folks need. Same thing with Glendon Cameron. Shout out to Glendon Cameron. Glendon Cameron gonna do a trick course. He calls it the Sugar Daddy Experiment, BGS. He said, and it's funny because you can't say nothing about Glendon. He gonna do a trick course. I said I'll buy it. He said the Sugar Daddy Experiment. It's clutch like I'm not going back to DC. Fuck that shit. You talk to Preem about going to Africa, Preem will go batshit crazy on you. Come on, man, we going back to Africa. Nigga, I ain't going back. His voice pitches and everything. He like I ain't going back, nigga. I'm like, damn, okay. The Thinking Man's Half-Heart said, YouTube definitely unsub me from BGS Black Ram MBD. The game is real. Like, for real, man. YouTube be doing stupid shit like that. If too many people in the chat start talking shit about the alphabet community, they'll get your ass too. Jonathan Morgan. I keep telling people to sleep on that. If you listen to BGS, Thinking Man Simple on a lot of this shit, and y'all want to kind of see a show that's gonna kind of show you, like a documentary gonna show you that shit and like actionable steps, look at Leah Remini Scientology. Look, all y'all gotta do is get Hulu. I'm gonna tell you what y'all can do. If y'all don't have Hulu, first of all, a lot of it should be on YouTube anyway. But if you don't have Hulu, when Black Friday comes up, Hulu is gonna probably offer like a Black Friday deal where you can get like Hulu for like $1 for a year. Get it? You got Hulu for $12 for the whole year. Leah Remini got both of her seasons, and then Hulu's actually redone their app. I actually need to go back into it. I used to Uber people to Fort Bragg. I've been to Fort Bragg quite a few times, man. I made a lot of money Ubering people from Fort Bragg from Raleigh. Um, no, it's I wouldn't. Yeah, I would say that, but I wouldn't. Say, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you saying nothing else in Fayetteville. But I'm gonna tell you something. I used to tell people like Fort Bragg is one of the biggest bases. You got Fort Bragg and Camp Lejeune. There's no reason that if you want to open up a strip club, you should be in Fort Bragg. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. Strip clubs nowadays are starting to fall off because these hoes can get on OnlyFans and Instagram. So, well, I think man Simple are ahead of you. That's why he gonna go to Patreon. Oh wow, damn, Erica 50 Reynolds. Fuck, Erica in the boule, ladies and gentlemen. Erica trying to get in the boule. That's what that is. Let me not even start that. Start that motherfuckers to start hating. I see why you and Andre do a lot of videos together. Kathleen Kennedy don't know what the fuck she doing. She spent her life working under men, and she want to do what the fuck she want to do. She's really an assistant, and I hate to play her like that, but oh, for real, I don't know nothing about Austin Town like Erica. They don't know nothing about that. Like, look, I'm gonna tell you something. Your ass realize how black you fucking are when you go to play. When you go to places like that, like the first time you go to places like that where you are kind of uncomfortable because it's like, and you gotta remember, I'm light skinned thinking like this, and I'm like, yo, I'm a nigga. Like they gonna arrest me. Cause you like when you, and I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't even with white people. When you get in front of like Indians and they got money, like some of these other groups, and a lot of people don't necessarily get past the veil of certain stuff. You be seeing some shit, man. You really do. I'm gonna tell you, that's one thing about Ubering. Like every once in a while, you will get into like stuff that's hiding in plain sight, like just one street turn away or a couple street turns away, and you be like, "What the fuck?" Raleigh Durham. Compared to Fayetteville, yes, Raleigh Durham has stuff going on, but I mean, I wouldn't compare Raleigh Durham to like National City, but it's coming up. Keanu Reeves is Batman. No, Keanu Reeves is doing just fine as John Wick. I will look into that. Scientology shows the science behind a lot of it. It gives you an insight at taking these, like, so you can learn a lot from how they, I'm not talking about Scientology itself, but how they go about doing shit. You can learn a lot about how your own community functions because it's actually really interesting. I mean, City of Truth, like, let's start a strip club. I mean, real talk, man, this is not a great time to start a strip club because these hoes can they can go to OnlyFans, they can only go to Fan Central, Snapchat. It's too many dudes that's giving money away for fucking fake ass pictures. I mean, how do you, Erica? How the fuck do you do that? Like 50 rentals, like I know you got, well, y'all got like a, maybe have a rental company or some shit, but fuck. You got 50 rentals. I see why you got a fucking painting company. They say no, fuck that. They call you. Like you about to give the family discount. You want access to this trust? I got some, I got, yeah. You about to charge it. Damn. Like, and it's not that, but, and is that all in Fayetteville? I mean, that's a lot of shit. The reason I'm thinking about that, that's a lot of fucking tenants. Be honest, you got black people to live there, or you gonna do it easy and be like, fuck that. I'd actually think Hispanics would be really good because the rent to get paid. Oh, that's true. I ain't even think about that. I ain't even think about that. I ain't even think about that. But see, here's the thing, though, and I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna wind it down. When people talk about Fayetteville, I remember the first time I went to Fayetteville. I'm like, y'all, like motherfuckers act like Fayetteville is like a third world fucking country. Fayetteville got brand new highways. You gotta remember, there's a base there, so it's got info. Motherfuckers act like ain't no infrastructure in Fayetteville. Real talk, if you had motherfuckers that actually were enterprising and they wanted to put some serious money in Fayetteville. Fayetteville is, you have a military base there, one of the largest. There is always going to be some infrastructure money in fucking Fayetteville and people that service it. Look what Eric is talking about with that damn 50 shit. I'm telling you, that was smart. Like I'm like, so people act like there's no infrastructure. Fayetteville is not like certain parts of the South where there's like no like, well, I ain't gonna say no infrastructure, but you get what I'm saying. Like you go to South Carolina, it's rural as fuck unless you're getting by Columbia, Florence, Charleston. Fayetteville is not that. So when people be saying that, but the problem with Fayetteville is you got too many ratchets that are like natives there. But other than that, Fayetteville ain't got like fucked up roads. I know plenty of places in the northeast, in the Midwest is way more fucked up. Fayetteville got brand new roads, highways. It's got a mall. It's got an airport. Now, would I put roots down and live? No, because the culture shit in Fayetteville. But as far as like looking at a city where it's saying, okay, I could put money somewhere and actually build some stuff up because you got soldiers and shit. It's got much shit. You know, there's worse places. But see, agents buy from other agents. Agents code up. Yeah, Indians. Look, Indians will chat you up. Look, other races have ideas of what they think about black people as far as what they show in the media. But if you demonstrate, and when I say demonstrate, you ain't got to show them. Like if they see that you operate outside of that, oh yeah, they will get real friendly. Yeah, man. So and that's another thing. And I say that, and I'm gonna really end it with this because I appreciate y'all coming out. I really do. But you know what, Erica, with that, there's a lot of Koreans in Savannah, Georgia, too. A lot of people don't realize that. Them Koreans, they be in small pockets. But when you evaluate a city, now obviously from a business standpoint, it depends on what you're doing. You really gotta. It's the same thing with kind of construction. You gotta go where the shit is, but a lot of people be focused on these big cities where it's like you need to come up in other areas. Because if you're somebody's really, first of all, cost of living, does it have what you need? And 'cause these smaller areas, you're just gonna have more reach sometimes, and then you can move up. I obviously out of that, but uh, a lot of people, man. I'm not trying to talk about priorities because I get it, but damn, it's certain things you gotta think about. A lot of what people think about, oh, is this place lit? Is it this? You gotta learn how to own your own shit. But anyway, y'all, I've been this shit's been going on for a minute, and I appreciate y'all being out. I know I heard Clutch on Solo TV 84. I actually got the link for it, but my ass was late. But yeah, man, when you look at these smaller cities, and it depends because I remember like I mean ain't nothing in High Point but the furniture. Wilmington is too expensive. Um Fayetteville has the base. Um I've been to Nashville too. Nashville has a lot more black people than people would think. It really does. Um so you just gotta be aware of like the metrics with these cities. Yeah, and it depends on because when you dealing with, especially even you dealing with like these browner Indian women, because Indian women come in a variety of different like shades. Yeah, man, especially in areas like Houston and stuff. But see, again, man, it is what it is. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, and a lot of black people are doing very well in Raleigh, Charlotte. I know you hear about racial stuff, but like with the banks and stuff there, Raleigh's got obviously the schools, then the healthcare, then the tech, then cheap jobs. Like I literally, if you got a high school, real talk, if you have a high school degree like there's a job that I know that if you have a high school diploma that I know I deal with kids, I deal with motherfuckers that are 18, 19 years old, 21 years old that fucking making $13 an hour, 13.75 just taking phone calls. Now all call centers ain't paying that, but that's not mandated. So and they working overtime and they making bank. They're getting like 1300, 1400 every 2 weeks. And they're like fucking 19, 20, 21. And all they got is high school diploma. And hell, I know places that don't even drug test you. So motherfuckers, yeah. And that's a lot here. Like I ain't gonna say it's a lot, but when you hear you can do something with that. All right. Anyway, y'all, it's been a pleasure talking to y'all. Y'all hang with me, listen to my bullshit. So be looking out for some stuff. It's a lot of stuff planned. For 2020. I think 2020 is gonna be a great year for me. It may be fucked up for a lot of y'all. I'm sure Erica's excited about the. Nobody's never excited about a recession, but if you got cash and shit on hand, you know how it is. And by the way, North Carolina has 10 million people too. in their population as well, by the way. So North Carolina and Georgia are pretty much the same. FYI. So anyway, with that said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.